When you're going at high speeds, you're just focusing in on whatever that you're doing. So that allows them to be so precision focused in the present moment time. You have access, just like a near death or say a traumatic experience, without, the baggage of those situations, and you have access to your pure consciousness. Action or an extreme sport with higher levels of consciousness. And for example, for me, I've had two near-death experiences. And again, it's an extreme event that allowed me to escalate my awareness or my abilities or the level of consciousness that I exist in. So basically, it's the window that people have used through trauma most of the time to allow ourselves to access higher levels of consciousness or higher levels of abilities. So how do you do that in a safety mechanism? How do you do that in a safe environment, by the way? Well, we do that through a driving event, because that'll help you understand the logistics or the mechanics of this reality, basically speed. You have a professional driver next to you, they'll go through a racetrack. But when you're at those high speeds, you allow your higher version to escape. Just like traumatic experiences, right, allow those individuals to go into higher states of consciousness, or, where they can access their higher abilities. This is a very controlled, say, experience where we allow you access or opening that doorway to your higher levels of consciousness through driving really fast around a racetrack. Basically, that's what it is. But when you go through that process, you become so present that you allow or you shed away the ideas, the fears, and everything that you are. And it allows you to access the higher levels of consciousness or the higher levels of who you are. And then with classroom training on the concepts of success consciousness and deep state hyper meditations that we guide you in, those higher levels are glued into you. They become, say, a permanent version of who you are. And this is a really fast access on how you become, or how you can become, say, successfully conscious. Because when you're going at high speeds, there's no time to think about who you are, your grocery list, or I want this, or I'm lacking this. You're just focusing in on whatever that you're doing. So that allows them to be so precision focused in the present moment time. And when you're focused in on that present moment time, you have access, just like a near death or say a traumatic experience, without, the baggage of those situations, and you have access to your pure consciousness. That's why we do that. A lot of successful people, they use that tool to do just that. And that's why they gravitate to, well, say extreme sports or sports that are like speed driven. Everybody else does it the wrong way. And I can even like show you some pictures that I've got on those individuals who say done it the wrong way, where they've created mass amounts of success, but they've lost their identity of who they are. And then what they do is they become bullies, they become tyrants, they want to control, they lose their identity. But those people who do it successfully, and there's a ton of people who've done it successfully, what they do is, again, they expand into that consciousness that we just talked about, in this case, driving fast. And what they do is that there's a vibrancy in them. And you can see the difference between people who do success right and then people who do success wrong. We all hear about Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, and now we see the real version of Bill Gates and so on. I mean, why does that happen? Right? Because they didn't drive to success consciousness. They lost themselves to create success consciousness, again, which is the wrong version. When people do it right, and I'll show you the difference, say, in their facial features, especially for women, those who do it right, there's a vibrancy. So they expand into their success consciousness, and it's a huge, huge difference. And I just want to show you some examples on, say, the differences of successful individuals, and I'll walk you through, say, the differences, and you can see it right away. I mean, you don't have to be intuitive or anything like that to understand it. So let me first show you this version. Now, we all know who Melinda Gates is, right? Those individuals, again, they're very successful, but if you take a look at this image, she looks more masculine than ever. Now, she might be highly intelligent. I'm not knocking them down. I'm not knocking Bill Gates down. I'm saying they're highly, highly intelligent, but they didn't do it right. They literally didn't do it right. And that's why they look the way they do. Just reading Melinda, I mean, she looks more masculine than ever. So, and then Bill, he looks more feminine, especially say in this picture that you see, or even, in the blue sweater and the red sweater, you see the difference, right? Bill looks basically like his grandma. So he's turning more and more feminine, where Melinda is turning more and more masculine. So the essence of being, say, a true man or a true woman is not there. And you can see the look in their eyes. And this is where, when people are lost and they have, say, that much, say, money or success in them, and they've lost themselves, well, what do? They start to control other people. They start to dominate other people. They start to think that they're better, or they have to be better. And the way they do it is through control and obviously subversive actions. For women, the world's most powerful women, 2021, if you look at a lot of these women, they look like people who have been, say, severely abused back in the day, and they're fighting for their right to become successful. Okay. Or they've took on, say, a man's identity, because it's a man's world to be successful, right? If you're in the business world, it's a man's world. That's what every woman everybody, thinks about. So women get the idea or the concept. It's like, damn, I need to turn into a man. And as they become more and more successful, they lose their identity of becoming a woman, and they turn more and more masculine. And look at any of these individuals. Mackenzie Scott, again, a very forceful, dominating. You can even see her jawline is transformed into a more masculine identity. I mean, she's beautiful, or maybe she's not beautiful to you. I'm not here to say. It's not about beauty or not beauty. It's about those individuals who've lost themselves. Rosalind Brewer, again, a lot of pain and a lot of shame in her that she's trying to cover up. Samina Hassan, again, let's just say her family's been severely abused. And I'm just scanning these through my abilities. I can scan anybody. It doesn't matter, dead or alive. Kamala Harris, she's a pleaser. So whatever, it's like, hey, I want to be at this level. What do I have to sacrifice, or how do I sacrifice myself to be a pleaser, basically? So again, the more success she has, the less she understands or knows who she is. The favorite one is Reese Witherspoon. She's gone through a lot of damage. And what she does, like a lot of women do, is like, hey, you know what? I've gone through a lot of damage. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go protect the other women or the other people that are of similar. So it's a noble cause, Reese, and I love you for it and all that. But is there a better way? Yes, there is. The best way to do that is that, and here's the difference, like Reese, and even the guy who's Russell Brand. He talks about addictions and so on like that. And I love the guy. He's got a great message. But, Reese and Russell Brand, they're very similar. Like Russell and Reese is not, addicted or anything. Russell, has gone through a lot of addiction. So it's like, hey, you know what? I figured all these things out to deal with my addiction. But Russell, for example, hasn't resolved his addictions. He's still fighting ways or methods to go, hey, this is the way I've resolved or worked with my addictions. But with XI, how about Russell just deleting that addiction so you are who you naturally are? And then the messages that you're sending out to people is, hey, you know what, guys? I completely recovered. The same thing with Reese. Again, she's protecting, or she's trying to protect those individuals by, going, hey, I did this, this, and this, so you don't have to. But Reese, what about a way or a method to go, hey, you know what? How about if I let go of the underlying frequencies on why, I attracted abuse or trauma or whatever it was back in the day, right? You can actually delete those memory patterns or those genetic makeup. And the beautiful thing about that, especially for women, is one, you not only become more vibrant and more natural and more beautiful, but then you pass that on to the next generation or your kids, even if you've had them already. But if you look at all these other individuals, again, we went through Mackenzie Scott, Christina Lagarde, again, more masculine than ever. All these individuals, there's either they're turned into masculine identities, like Gail Bordeaux, masculine identities, or they're trying to say recover from shame or guilt or some kind of trauma, and it's still in their frequency. That's how I can read them. Any of these individuals, again, who have, say, gotten damaged and they've turned it into a success, or it was a motivator to turn into a success. Oprah Winfrey, one of those individuals who influences, millions of individuals, she still hasn't gone, recovered or completely, say, let go of her identity of who she is as a Black woman. And I'm saying that out of love. Yes, she's a great icon, for individuals who are colored. But what if you could just remove the filters of, say, the negative filters that have been associated, say, with Black people, all this stuff that you have to fight against. So if you're fighting against something to save something, you're always going to be perpetuating that frequency. So what I'm talking about, hey, Oprah, how about if we just get rid of that pattern and you just are a naturally beautiful Black woman without, say, the distortions that you have to fight for. And then you stand for, say, the positives and benefits of being, darker skin. That makes sense. And then when that happens, there is no prejudice, because everybody gets to see, say, the beauty of whoever you are, whatever culture you are, whatever color you want. You don't see, say, the distortions behind that. If you look at all these individual faces, there's something, again, missing in them. They're not, say, quite complete as, say, a human, because they've lost or they've sacrificed something to become the level of success that they are. Let me show you this picture. And this is really interesting, guys. Jeff Bezos. Now look at this image. So Jeff Bezos in 1998, and then Jeff Bezos in 2017. Kind of crazy, right? Super nice guy, super intellectual, super creative. But then look at this picture, before and after. But the key is, Jeff made a hell of a lot of money. He made a ton of money, but he's still the same person on the inside. He just changed. He's got more power to change the outer version of Jeff. On the inside, he's still, say, being bullied. So back in the day, I'm sure Jeff got bullied, like a lot of, say, Silicon Valley, billionaires did, right? They got bullied and they go, I'm going to show the world. And what they did, they did show the world. They become successful. But now what happens is that Jeff bullies everybody else. He controls, he dominates, because he has to, because the more, say, money he makes, the more success he has, the more he has to show that he's inadequate on the inside. So he gets bullied by his money, or the frequencies that he is, or the consciousness, basically, that he resonates at. You got Jeff Bezos, right? Out there, he's just smiling and so on the inside. Personally, I mean, he might have that hot girlfriend now. He's got this yacht that was so big that they had to take down the bridge. Again, you go to extreme measures to prove that you are powerful and everybody knows about it. Hence the experiences that Jeff Bezos will go through and show the world. You got Mark Zuckerberg, right? Controlling you in a different way, right? Social media, now the metaverse, so on like that. The same thing. Again, there's a lack of self-identity. So they have to find ways of controlling, although they'll go, well, it's beneficial for the masses. Well, it's beneficial for the masses for us to control you. That's basically what they're saying. Look at Bill Gates. Look at what he's doing. He's buying all this farmland. He's going to, all these countries and, forcing genetically modified seeds, all those things, right? Again, to control, because he knows better. He's like, father knows best, that kind of deal. But does father really know best? So those are the patterns that successful people, when they do it wrong. Now, can you be a huge billionaire a billionaire level like Jeff and those individuals? Of course you can. You can do it the right way, where you can be benevolent. And I want to show you a better version on those individuals. Well, in this case, because we're talking about the driving, for success consciousness event. In this case, those individuals who have done, say success, and you can see the difference. Now look at these eyes, guys. This is Jason Priestley. Again, look at his eyes. There's function. There's a human inside, right? Jason Priestley, Rowan Atkinson. If you look at, there's a presence there. There's an essence there, right? That's what we're looking for. That's where they say connected. Jackie Cooper. Now, obviously, all these aren't say XI level awareness, but they've got something in them. And the reason is that when they're driving, and all these are fantastic race car drivers, by the way, they got into racing because racing, or allowing yourself to go towards, say, the possibilities or the opportunities of death, but not going the full limit, allows you to, say, connect with your own greatness. That's what it's all about. Again, icons, right? Eric Bana. Just take a few more here. Steve McQueen. Look at that guy. He's like a solid man, right? He doesn't have to like force you to go, hey, I'm a dominant man. He just is. Look at his intensity that he's got. He doesn't have to. He can be a stranger in anywhere, and he'll hold, say, the attention of individuals. Like when he walks into the room, that's the kind of. Paul Newman is another guy. They're not just handsome. You know, they're men of integrity. Again, it's not just the look, but it's the integrity that's deep inside them. I want to show you some women in here. You know, the women that are race car drivers and the vibrancy that they have. And by the way, it's not just race car drivers. It's those individuals who go to an extreme, say, possibility of, well, getting close to death. You have that vibrancy. That's why people seek adventure, seek, say, fear. That's why, say, roller coaster rides are so exciting, because it's the possibility of death that puts you into that space. And then, you know, you're off that, say, roller coaster ride, and there's that vibrancy in you. That's what you're seeking, right? Why does that happen? It's because it allows you to forget about the identity that you've created and forces you into your pure state. Look at Leilani. Again, vibrancy, a true woman, a strong woman. You know, does she still need help XI wise? Yes. She's got the outward appearance. She's got the inner appearance as well. You know, with the XI like consciousness in there, you know, you can completely, say, disconnect, say, some of the memories, say, as a childhood that she's gone through. Courtney Force, again, you know, vibrancy inside. Cindy Alman. We've got Shannon Spake. Again, do you see the vibrancy, or look into their eyes? There's actually a person behind there. And these are all beautiful women that are, you know, highly intelligent, highly successful, and they've got the vibrancy still within them. And the reason why is because they go towards, say, that opportunity of death, which allows them to experience that. And again, guys, these are individuals. I'm just talking about their vibrancy. They know who they are at a deeper level. Can XI help them out? You're damn right they can. And to even go to a higher level. So here's another example, a personal example of me on how I've transformed, you know, with XI. Again, it's not just about the success, the money, the good lifestyle, you know, a beautiful wife and all that. Now it's about, say, the vibrancy of who you are. So are you guys ready for this? Here we go. Look at that. That was in 2010. The one on the left, 2010. Look at the fear in my eyes. And now, you know, here was it 2016, so 6 years later. And I think I even feel younger and more vibrant. Exams show me as a vibrant, say, you know, 25, 30-year-old, as far as blood work, vibrancy, and so on like that. But look, 6 years later, I'm more vibrant over on the right, more vibrant. Look at the intensity in the eyes. Do you see the difference? So if you're wondering if that successful individual is really, really happy, well, if you're an XI individual, you don't have to look straight into their eyes. You just feel their vibrancy. But if you don't, look at their eyes. You know, look at my eyes over to the left. It's like, gosh, somebody please help me. You know, I need help. This isn't working out for me. And over to the right, you know, that's the XI frequencies. It's a mass transformation. I look younger, more vibrant, say, than ever before. And even now, 6 years after, so that's like 12 years later, as I look a hell of a lot younger now than I did 12 years ago, and still counting. So that's the possibilities of you could of who you could be, you could have it all, guys. You don't have to skimp on anything. So can you have it all? Yes. And that's what this driving for success consciousness is about, where we help you drive into, say, a higher state or an awareness of the possibilities to getting you close to, say, the possibility of, say, having an experience. You get the concept of, hey, something could happen, and it awakens you really fast. And then through classroom training, we embed success consciousness or the concepts of success habits and whatever else that you need to turn it into, say, a reality where you're successful on the inside and you're successful on the outside. So if you're really interested in, that inner expansion of who you are and really want to become successful the proper way, just like I showed you, come to the driving event. Go to massajady.com, MASSAJADY.com. Look for the driving event.